Fellas, picture this. The woman who pulled away, went cold, or disappeared suddenly texts you again. Maybe it's a simple, hey. Maybe it's a long paragraph about how she's been thinking. Either way, your heart starts racing. You replay memories. You overthink what to say. And in that moment, you feel like everything you wanted might finally come back. But this is where most men go wrong. This video is about what happens when a woman reaches out and the mistakes men make that instantly ruin their power, respect, and chances of getting the outcome they actually want. When a woman contacts you after distance or silence, she's testing more than just your interest. She's testing your growth. She wants to see if you've changed or if you're still that same emotional version of yourself that she once walked away from. Men often think her reaching out means it's time to pick up where things left off. But that's not how attraction or respect work. Women don't just reach out because they miss you. Sometimes they do it to see if they still have a hold on you. And if you respond the wrong way, too eager, too forgiving, too emotional, you confirm that they do. So this isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about understanding your position. You need to learn what her message really means, how to stay composed, and what actions show strength instead of desperation. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid when she reaches out, because most men destroy their second chance without realizing it. If you can master how to respond when she contacts you, you'll never chase her energy again. She'll start chasing yours. Don't rush to reply. Control the tempo. Don't rush to reply. Control the tempo. When a woman reaches out after silence or distance, your first instinct might be to reply instantly. You feel that rush of excitement. Your ego wakes up. Your emotions spark. And it feels like finally she noticed your absence. But that emotional impulse is exactly what gets most men trapped again. The moment you rush to reply, you give away your leverage. And worse, you reveal that she still controls your emotions. What most men don't realize is that the speed of your response sends a message, and it's often louder than your words. When you respond too quickly, you communicate that you've been waiting for her, that your life has paused, and that her attention still defines your sense of importance. And once she senses that, she no longer has to work for your energy. She already has it. Now, controlling the tempo doesn't mean ignoring her or playing childish games. It means slowing down the interaction so that you stay in control of the emotional rhythm. When you take your time to respond, you're signaling maturity, confidence, and emotional detachment. You're showing her that your life didn't stop when she left. It moved forward, and she's no longer the center of your world. Women naturally test emotional strength. They want to feel that a man can stay centered even when his feelings are triggered. When she reaches out and you reply too fast, you fail that test. But when you pause, not out of pride, but out of calm awareness, you shift the dynamic. She starts to feel uncertainty. She begins to wonder if you've moved on, if you still care, or if she's lost her hold over you. That's when attraction quietly starts to rebuild. You have to understand that the power isn't in what you say, it's in how you respond. A composed, well-timed reply tells her that you've grown, that you value your peace, and that she no longer has emotional control over you. It shows that you're not desperate for her attention. You're selective about who gets access to your time. So, before you reply, pause, breathe, think, ask yourself, am I responding because I want to or because I'm afraid to lose her again? That one question alone can save you from emotional mistakes that most men never recover from. Remember, attraction thrives on balance, not eagerness. Control the tempo and you control the tone of the entire interaction. Let her feel that your world didn't stop spinning just because she texted. She's simply trying to catch up to your pace. 2. Don't act like nothing happened. Don't act like nothing happened. Imagine this, and you were seeing a woman for a while. Things felt great at first. Long talks, inside jokes, a real connection. Then, suddenly, she started pulling away. Messages got shorter, calls stopped, and one day she just disappeared. No closure, no explanation. You took the silence hard. You went through that phase where you checked your phone hoping she'd reach out. And after weeks or even months, she finally does. You open that message and it's casual. Maybe a "hey stranger" or "I was just thinking about you." In that moment, most men make the same mistake. They respond like nothing ever happened. They joke back, they flirt. They fall right into the same rhythm as before, as if she didn't vanish, as if she didn't make him feel replaceable. That's emotional amnesia. And it's dangerous. When you act like nothing happened, you teach her that her absence had no consequence. You teach her that she can leave, come back, and still have full access to you whenever she pleases. That's not strength. That's submission disguised as kindness. Now, I'm not saying you should be cold, bitter, or confrontational. You don't need to bring up the past aggressively, but you do need to acknowledge reality. A simple, grounded comment like, "It's been a while and didn't expect to hear from you again," says more than an essay ever could. It reminds her that time passed, that things changed, and that her choices mattered. Here's the truth. Women respect men who respect themselves. Acting like nothing happened is the opposite of self-respect. It's emotional denial. You're avoiding discomfort because you want to keep the peace. But peace built on denial never lasts. When she reaches out, you have to hold your composure and your memory. You can forgive, but you don't have to forget. The man who acts unaffected loses value because it feels like his boundaries never existed. The man who acknowledges the distance calmly earns respect because she can sense his emotional backbone. The right approach is subtle but powerful. Respond with calm energy, not resentment. Let her feel that your life continued, that you've evolved, and that you're not just waiting for her return. If she genuinely wants to reconnect, she'll sense she has to meet you where you are now, not where you were when she left. So don't pretend the past didn't happen. Let your energy reflect that you learned from it. Because when a man acts like nothing happened, he teaches her to treat him like he never mattered. But when he stands firm in quiet confidence, she realizes this is not the same man she left behind. Don't overexplain yourself. 3. Don't overexplain yourself. When a woman finally reaches out after pulling away, many men treat that message like an opportunity to defend themselves. They want to prove they've changed, explain why they acted the way they did, or clear up old misunderstandings. It's natural that you care and you want her to see your side. But in trying to make her understand, you often do the very thing that destroys your impact. You start over-explaining. Let's look at what that really means. She texts, "Hey, how have you been?" And instead of keeping it simple, you write a whole paragraph. "I've been good. Just been working on myself. I wasn't trying to ignore you or anything. I just felt like things got weird and I didn't want to pressure you. You think you sound mature, but what she actually sees is a man trying to earn her approval again." Over-explaining gives away emotional power because it shows you're still trying to be understood instead of being centered. You're trying to convince her that you're not the problem. But in doing that, you make yourself the problem. A grounded man doesn't justify his silence or his actions. He understands that not everyone deserves an explanation, and not every moment requires words. His calm presence says everything. Now imagine this instead. She messages, "Hey, it's been a while." You pause, think, and simply reply, "Yeah, it has." That's it. No essays, no emotional paragraphs, just composure. You let her curiosity grow. You give her space to wonder what you're thinking, what you've been doing, and whether you've truly moved on. That's what creates magnetic tension, not explanations, but mystery. Women are emotional detectives by nature. They read tone, timing, and confidence. The less you explain, the more they analyze, and the more they feel drawn in. When you overexplain, you remove that curiosity. You make her comfortable again. And comfort is the death of attraction. Remember this: explanation is for people who doubt themselves. Calmness is for those who know their worth. When you stop trying to make her get it, you stop chasing her understanding and start commanding her attention. If she asks, "Why didn't you reach out?" Or, "Why did you act distant?" keep your tone simple and unbothered. Something like, "I just needed space to get clear on what I want," says everything. It shows maturity without emotional begging. So, don't try to reframe the past with words. Let your energy show that you've grown. The man who overexplains seeks validation. The man who speaks calmly and sparingly radiates confidence. And when she senses that, when she realizes you no longer feel the need to prove yourself, that's when her respect quietly returns. Don't try to rebuild what's gone for. Don't try to rebuild what's gone. When a woman contacts you after distance, one of the biggest traps men fall into is trying to rebuild what's already gone. They think that if she reaches out, it must mean she wants to rekindle the relationship or fix what was broken. But more often than not, her message isn't an invitation to restart. It's a test. She's not asking for the old connection. She's checking if the old version of you still exists. Here's what most men get wrong. They start chasing that familiar feeling again. They talk about the good times. They bring up old memories. They try to restore the comfort and closeness they once had. But what they don't realize is the emotional ground they're standing on has changed. What was once natural now feels forced because you're trying to recreate emotion instead of creating attraction. You can't rebuild chemistry that faded by pretending nothing changed. The man who tries to rebuild what's gone is emotionally stuck in the past, while the woman is watching to see if he's evolved. The moment you fall back into the same conversations, behaviors, and energy she once walked away from, she subconsciously feels that nothing is new, and attraction fades all over again. Think of it like a house that burned down. You don't try to rebuild it with the same weak wood and broken walls. You clear the ground, use stronger materials, and design something completely different. The same rule applies here. If she's reaching out, that's not your signal to rebuild the old. It's your chance to show her the new you. The power lies in emotional detachment. That doesn't mean coldness. It means clarity. You no longer need the relationship to validate you. You no longer need her to fill the space she once left empty. You've rebuilt yourself, and now she's trying to see what stands where she once walked away. So when she reaches out, don't chase the past. Don't try to make her remember what you had. Let her see that you've outgrown what you were. If she's curious enough, she'll start adjusting her energy to match yours. The truth is, real attraction doesn't come from fixing what was broken. It comes from becoming someone new. When a woman feels that your value has risen, that your mindset has shifted, that your energy no longer revolves around her, she starts to feel something powerful. Respect. Stop trying to rebuild the old story. Let it die. Instead, stand as the man who learned from it, the man who's no longer chasing what's gone because he's too busy living what's next. 5. Don't fall for the emotional trap. Don't fall for the emotional trap. When a woman reaches out after disappearing, it's rarely just a random message. There's emotion behind it. But here's where things get tricky. That emotion doesn't always mean what you think it means. She might not be missing you. She might be missing the attention, the validation, or the feeling of knowing you still care. And if you don't understand that, you'll fall right into the emotional trap she doesn't even realize she's setting. The emotional trap happens when a man assumes her message is a sign of reconciliation, when he lets his hope override his logic. She might text you something soft like, "I've been thinking about you," or "I miss talking to you." It sounds deep, it sounds genuine, but sometimes it's just her way of checking if she still has emotional access to you. Women are emotional by nature, and when they sense your energy pulling away, they become curious about it. That curiosity often brings them back, not because they want you again, but because they want to know they still could have you if they wanted. It's a subconscious way of maintaining power. This is why you have to stay grounded when she reaches out. Don't assume her message means she wants to start over. Read her actions, not her words. Is she consistent? Is she actually investing effort, time, and presence? Or is she just dipping in for reassurance before fading again? The emotional trap is built on reactivity. The moment you get emotional, you start chasing the connection again. You overthink every word, analyze every emoji, and lose your center trying to figure out what she means. But the truth is, it doesn't matter what she means. It matters how you respond. If you stay calm, grounded, and emotionally steady, you instantly shift the power dynamic. You remind her that she can't control your emotions anymore. And that's when her curiosity turns into respect. Here's what emotional control looks like. She says, "I miss you." Instead of melting, you reply with something light. "Good memories, huh?" Or even just, "Hope you're doing all right." Short, calm, collected. You're not dismissive, you're composed. You're showing that her words no longer shake your foundation. Every time you resist the urge to get emotional, you strengthen your masculine frame. You're no longer reacting from insecurity. You're responding from strength. And women feel that difference instantly. Remember, the goal isn't to outplay her. It's to outgrow your old reactions. Don't let emotion pull you back into a loop that cost you your peace before. Stay centered, stay calm, and make her realize that no emotional trick can control a man who's finally learned to control over himself. Don't forget why she left 6. Don't forget why she left. When a woman who once walked away suddenly reaches out, it's easy for a man to slip into emotional amnesia. The sound of her name, the tone of her voice, or even a simple "I miss you" can make all the pain, confusion, and silence fade for a moment. You remember how good it felt when things were right, but you forget how bad it got before it ended. That's what happens in reality. Most men don't lose women because they were never good enough. They lose them because they gave too much, ignored red flags, or stopped being the man they were at the start. Then, when she leaves, he spends weeks replaying what went wrong, blaming himself and trying to figure out how to get her back. So, when she finally contacts him, it feels like redemption. But here's where you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Why did she leave in the first place? Did she lose respect for you? Did she take your kindness for weakness? Did she pull away because she thought she could do better? Or did she walk away because she never valued you the way you valued her? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're the ones that protect you from repeating the same mistake twice. In real life, when a woman comes back, she often isn't returning for love. She's returning for comfort. Maybe her new situation didn't work out. Maybe she misses the security you gave her. Or maybe she's just lonely. Whatever her reason, it's not always because she suddenly realized your worth. And if you forget why she left, you'll welcome her back under the illusion that things will be different, when in truth, they'll fall apart the same way again. Remember this: women respect consistency. If she left because you lost your boundaries, then taking her back instantly proves you still don't have any. If she left because she didn't appreciate you, rewarding her return only teaches her that you'll always be available, no matter what she does. You can forgive her, but forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. You can respond calmly, but calm doesn't mean blind. The most powerful men don't carry grudges, they carry lessons. So, when she reaches out, stay alert. Don't romanticize the past or rewrite history. The same patterns will repeat if you let emotions guide your logic. Remind yourself of what happened, why it happened, and how it made you feel. Because when you forget why she left, you also forget why you had to let her go. And a man who forgets his pain becomes a man destined to relive it. Don't give away your power. Make her earn access. 7. Don't give away your power. Make her earn access. When a woman contacts you after walking away, it's not a sign to celebrate. It's a moment to reclaim control. Because this time, it's not about whether she chooses you. It's about whether you choose her. That's where true power begins in choice, not reaction. The mistake most men make is letting her back in too easily. She says one sweet thing, sends one emotional text, or shows a little attention, and suddenly you drop your boundaries. You start acting like her return is proof of your worth. But it's not. Her message doesn't mean she values you, it just means she noticed your absence. There's a big difference between missing someone and respecting them. The moment you open the door too wide, she walks in with the same mindset she left with. And just like that, you're back in the same position, chasing her validation instead of commanding respect. If you want to be the man she actually values this time, you have to make her earn her way back. That means emotional access. Your time, your energy, and your attention must come with standards. Don't reward inconsistency with comfort. Don't give the same version of you that she took for granted. When she reaches out, stay calm, measured, and selective. Let her feel that your life has structure, that she's not your priority anymore, but a potential option that must align with your new mindset. That energy changes everything. Women are drawn to men who no longer operate from scarcity. When you show that your world doesn't revolve around her anymore, she'll start orbiting yours. Masculine power isn't about arrogance. It's about self-respect. It's about understanding that you decide who gets emotional access. You don't chase validation. You create it by living with purpose, direction, and discipline. So, if she wants another chance, let her show it. Let her prove consistency through actions, not words. If she wants to talk, make sure she's listening too. If she wants to reconnect, make sure she's contributing this time. You don't need to punish her. You just need to protect your peace. Men lose their power when they confuse interest for effort. A message is an effort. It's an opener. Don't hand over what she hasn't earned. Let her work for your time the way you once worked for hers. Because the man who values himself sets the tone. When you stop giving away your energy to anyone who asks for it, you become the kind of man every woman has to rise up to meet. And that's the difference between being chosen and being respected. Conclusion. When a woman reaches out after walking away, your reaction reveals everything. Not about her, but about you. Most men lose power trying to prove something. Strong men stay calm, aware, and in control. Every message, every call, every comeback is a test of your growth. Remember the lessons. Don't rush, don't explain, don't forget, and never give away your power. You are not the same man she left behind. And if she truly wants another chance, she'll recognize it. Let her earn your presence. That's where real strength begins.